Leaders on a daily basis need to make hard decisions. The reality is sometimes those decisions are not popular. And sometimes when you make them, you don't necessarily understand how important they truly are. But as leaders, the burden truly is on us. It's on you, as a principal of an agency, to make those decisions that are unpopular, difficult, challenging, caused many of us sleepless nights.
Leadership is not about charisma. Leadership is not about whether you're handsome, whether you're overweight, whether you're thin, whether you look good on camera. Leadership is about you knowing where you want to go and making all the people around you believe that you're right and making them want to go with you.
There's an adage that it's lonely at the top for leadership, absolutely. Because what you're doing is you're up there at 40,000 feet, you're looking at the whole landscape, you're in an adaptive, a changing environment all the time. And what you've got to do is take your troops, take your crew, take your company, you've got to go ahead and lead them out there so they can be competitive. And that's tough. Not everyone's going to understand that, and you don't want everyone to understand that. But what you do have to do is get out a message that everybody can repeat, that everybody knows what the message is, and we have to move forward with that.
If you truly are faced with a dilemma and you look out to that and you look at your options, pick the most difficult option you have for yourself. And that's probably the way that you need to go. As leaders, it's often the thing that keeps us from making the hard decisions is because we want to pick the easier way, because it is easier for us. But as leaders, those people in that organization and in our lives rely on us to do the hard thing. If it were easy, everyone would do it.
Vision is the ability to look out somewhere and see something that other people don't necessarily see.
It's being able to take that picture in your head and being able to say it so it's real.
When I look at a team and I've got a season in front of me, and as well as one season, I'm also looking at 4 seasons out, 5 seasons out. How am I going to be able to develop that team? I also have to know that the team's not going to be the same from year to year. I'm going to have different players. So you have to take a look at a little bit of a short-term vision and produce some goals, and you also want to go ahead and progress generation upon generation to go ahead for those longer-term goals.
The leader of an organization has to be able to take their ideas, their dreams that are in their head, and find words to make them real. Find action plans that make them real. And that's what managers do. They take big ideas and they break them down into measurable action plans that people can follow. They can make a difference one step at a time. Strategy is like a roadmap. It's how you plan on getting your vision from words to a more real, basic plan, an outline, so to speak.
Strategy is once you have a vision, being able to create the steps necessary to get to it.
You have to have a game plan. And you start that game plan, and then you see if that game plan is going to fit the environment. Sometimes I have a game plan, and I have to be disciplined enough to follow that game plan, but there are days I have to adapt. Just plain and simple. Because you have to be stubborn and you have to go ahead and motivate your rowers to fit your game plan, but some days it's not going to be there. So you have to be willing to go ahead and take a step back sometimes so that the next day you can come back and maybe go back towards your main plan.
Well, vision and strategy are all great, but at some point somebody's got to do a thing, or 2 or 3 or 7. And those things are execution, and without them strategy does not happen and your vision is a waste of time.
And execution is ultimately breaking that down to the basic ABCs.
You can have the vision and you can have inspiration to go ahead and have the vision, but at some point you have to act on it. Okay? You've got to act today for tomorrow's vision. Today builds the future, and you can't worry about the past. So it takes a lot of perspiration to carry out your vision.
But leadership is important. It must be there. You cannot just live day to day.
And I really believe that a lot of success is just outlasting the competition. Can you stay in the game as long as the other person, as the other company, as the other crew? And at some point, there's going to be a falter. I need to be able to be consistent so that at the point when I can risk, I have the confidence I can risk and go for it.
That's what leadership is. That's the payoff.
Everything around you gets better if you lead.